Welcome to Lesson 10A, View State in Web Forms. View state is used to preserve the state of controls on a web form across postbacks. The view state is stored in a hidden field named __view state. The easiest way to see how big the view state is for each control is to add a trace equals true attribute to the @page directive at the top of the web form. When you view the page in the browser and examine the control tree, you can actually see the view state size for each control on the form. Now, view state is definitely a handy tool for persisting and restoring the values of your server controls between postbacks. However, it is not free. It is stored on the page and must be sent to the browser as part of the response and returned to the web server as part of the request. As a web developer, you should always strive to make your page as small as possible. You may want to disable view state for either some or all of the server controls on a page. You can disable view state at the page level, at the container level, and at the control level. By default, view state is enabled for every page in your web application. There are two properties that are used to disable and enable view state. The enable view state property. This property can be set to either true or false, and by default it's true. And the view state mode. This property can be set to enabled, disabled, or inherit, and by default it is set to inherit. In this lesson, you populate a list box, use view state to restore its value on a postback, and see what happens when view state is disabled. There are no lesson requirements, and the hints for this lesson are to set trace equals to true in the @page directive to see how large the view state is for each control on the page. To get started with this lab, select New Project, ASP.NET Web Application, and enter Lesson 10A for the name of the web application. Select the About.aspx page and replace the Put Content Here string with a list box, a button, and a label. Name the list box colors. Name the button select color, and set the text of the button to select color. And name the label color, and remove the default text so that it will appear blank initially. Now, in Design View, double-click the button to create the button handler, and enter label color.text is equal to string.format. You have selected the color, and then put the selected value of the list box colors. Now go to the page load, and we'll need to initialize some values for the list box. We're going to surround everything with the pages postback because you only want this to happen the first time the page is rendered and not every time it's posted back, or you would continue to add 3 items to your list box. And the reason for that is because view state by default is enabled, so it retains the information that's in the view state, and that information includes the 3 items in this list box. So we're going to do blue, red, and yellow. Now click the F5 button. Make sure our page is working. See, do the magic of view state. It's making round trips to the server, but it's retaining the information in the list box. Now let's go ahead and examine view state a little closer. In order to do that, open the about.aspx page, go to the source view, and add the trace equals true attribute to the at page directive. And then go ahead and click the F5 button. Now we'll pick a color again. It still works. Let's view our source. Indeed, here's their view state. It's saving the information in that list box. And now let's go down the bottom and we can see the information that we're interested in, as in the control tree. And let's find the particular list box. Here it is, 233 bytes. Let's go ahead and close the browser. And this time we're going to disable view state. So we're going to set enable view state to false for the entire page and click the F5 button. In this case, the view state is no longer going to be stored in our page. And you can see our page no longer functions.